So welcome to Studio Talk number 9. Appropriately enough, it's the 1st of September, so we're 9/1. I'm sitting in the kitchen, keeping an eye on the Chendies, who've just eaten. This is Winnie, the grey one. She's 2 years old. And I don't know if you can see it, she might be off camera. This is Chendie. She's upwards of 12 years old. And she gave me a fright a couple of days ago because she's been a bit slow of late and been making crash landings a lot, and I keep finding her on the floor when I come back home in the evening, which means she can't make it to the branch at in the other room or here. And anyway, so about 3 nights ago I came back home and she was on the floor, or she was on a box a little bit off the floor. She hadn't been able to get to her perch, and so I took her on my hand and and put her on the door, which is her usual perch at night. And I noticed that on her breast there was like an indentation, like a vertical indentation. So I thought, well, she must have been perching with her breast against something, like a corner of something. And then I took a closer look, and then I saw a dark spot on her chest. And I thought, well, that's strange, what's that? And took a flashlight, had another look, and it looked like she had a hole in her breast. And I looked several times with magnifying glass. I called Brigitte over to have a look, and both of us saw like there was a hole, and the hole was like, like maybe half a centimeter big. I mean, and it was dark and there was no blood or any fluids around it. So it didn't look like it was anything freshly made. And we looked in the internet at the anatomy, bird anatomy, and saw that all the vital organs of the bird are more like towards the back. And in the front, I guess there's like a kind of a space with air in it for the buoyancy, so they can fly. And anyway, I was a bit horrified by this, because okay, she didn't seem to be picking at it, she didn't seem to be acting any differently than she had been in the last couple of days or weeks. And so I managed to sleep. And for the record, I remembered that about a month ago I'd made a drawing. I can show you. So, in this drawing, we see a bird taking flight, and instead of a tail it has something like a dress, so it could be a person, a woman. And I was thinking of this new friend I made, Aimee, and thinking about the idea of like cutting loose or flying away or flying with your own wings. So I wrote "Let Fly" on it, and then I did a strange thing. I don't even know why. I put a red line here, just like a curve on the breast, and then I wrote in the margin "secret wound." Okay, yeah. I've got a secret wound. We all have secret wounds. And then I think a couple of days later I crossed that out and wrote "sacred wound." So that kind of made the wound something not just secret, but something to hide, but something to cherish. Anyway, that's the drawing. And in the night, following the discovery of the hole in Chendie's chest, I had a dream where I was in a house and there were two young men with pistols and the police was coming for them, and they were like on the landing of the floor where I had a room, and I was in the room, and I was hoping they weren't going to come into the room and then have a gunfight with the police or something like this. And instead, a policeman, you know, one of these with the bulletproof vest and all of it, storms into the room, crouches on the floor and aims his automatic rifle at me. And I was sitting on a bed, so I was higher up, so right here. And I immediately put my hands up and closed my eyes because I just was too scared, and I realized the guy could shoot at any moment. And I tried to imagine what it would feel like, bullets flying into me. Shortly before I die, I woke up instead. Oh man, anyway, the next day I took Chendie to the vet at 4 in the afternoon because the vet I wanted to see wasn't there before. And so I took her in a box, went to the vet, and there were dogs, cats, mostly cats, a lot of people. The place was full, and we ended up waiting an hour and a half. And so finally got to see the doctor, Dr. Fluke, F-L-U-C-K. And she took Chendie in the hand and looked and touched this spot on her and saw that there was already a crust on it. So there was no hole. And apparently, unless my eyes and Brigitte's eyes were deceiving us, the hole had healed or shut. And I touched the spot. I could see there was a crust. There was nothing really. Yeah, there was definitely a wound there. She may have rammed against a sharp corner or something. I had a mirror on the window here with a sharp corner. It's really stupid of me, but usually, you know, I don't think that they're gonna not negotiate the landings. Anyway, so here we are in the kitchen. I'm kind of bummed out in general, probably because Brigitte and I are having such a hard time with each other. Not getting anywhere. I'm trying to work things out and not going anywhere. And I had a little job this week for the museums in Switzerland. I already told this story where I realized I was underpaid by a factor of 3. And also I want to write this article about the painting in the Louvre to set the record straight, say it's Tobias, it's not a philosopher. And for a couple of days I was looking for an article I photocopied at the Louvre. And this is like, you know, not the birth certificate, but like the first document that, or it's about the first document that mentions the painting, presumably. in 1748 at a art dealer's in Antwerp. A guy called Lormier, Willem Lormier. And so I've read this before, but it's so difficult because they keep confusing the Rembrandt painting and the painting that look like it, and that is not by Rembrandt, definitely not. Yeah. And so I'm trying to get things straight. I have a problem with this. It's like, you know, dealing with my own life story. It's getting it straight, and all the different stories, and are they true, and so on and so forth. So I'm glad I found this. Now I can, like, this is back to zero. It's getting on to 2:30, and I'm going to go to the swimming pool pretty soon, so I guess I'll take it with me and see if that's compatible. Sunshine and Old Masters. By the way, that's my new business card, Jean-Marie Clark, Old Master, Alter Meister. Yo, Winnie. Hey, Chendie. We must be at the end now. I have a clock, I can see the time. Chendie.